Yeah, good Saturday morning. I think everyone agrees that today is, well, a chilly morning. It's going to be colder as we go into tonight. Freeze warning goes into effect at 11 o'clock tonight and will remain through about 9 a.m. in the morning. It's going to be cold. Right now, 43 as you're waking up, starting this Saturday before everything begins. And it's going to be colder today. And no matter what you do, what you got to do, carry you a jacket if you head outside. 54 is the high. And then on top of that 54 degrees, the wind. It's going to be a gust of about 20 miles an hour today. So no matter what you do, that old wind cuts you. And so we don't want you cold while you're outside. So make sure that you carry all of that. Well, as you wake up this morning, I'm sure by now all of us have heard the news. And maybe you've watched the interview I did with Chief Ward Calhoun yesterday. As rarely a murder happens in the rural part of our areas. But for the second time this year, we've had a murder happen in the West Lauderdale area. And again, as we pull this up from yesterday, as we spoke to Chief Ward Calhoun, Kelton Ocampo was arrested for the murder of his mother. They will give more details as this comes about. He was booked on and has a $250,000 bond. Now, I know there was a lot of talk on social media of, I thought it was $1 million. That's within the city of Meridian that it's $1 million. The county does not have that policy. Maybe it's time to do that. We'll see how that comes about. But condolences to the family. It has to be hard. They've lost, at this point, affected two family members. From what I understand, a very, very sweet lady who was a teacher in the local area and praised by so many that she was such a nice lady. So as we go about our day, keep them in their thoughts and prayers. Not only a mother has been lost, but also a child gone to the wayside. Awful, awful, awful how that could even happen. But we pray for them. That's what we do as a community. Just a very, very tragic situation as we look at all of this. Other things that have gone on this morning, as we said, we've got the Christmas parade coming up on December the 4th, downtown Meridian. And if you've got your Christmas parade, I know Collinsville will be December the 11th. I've already gotten that one. But if you've got one and I don't know about it, let me know. And inbox me. Let me know about that so we can share the information with everybody else. So what has gone on? Well, there was a little bit of what you would call a car chase last night. Let's pull this up. We can take a look at this. This was downtown Meridian, before 10 o'clock last night, as we pull this up to show you here. I-20, the Meridian Police Department attempted to make a traffic stop for someone who had a busted headlight that wasn't working and no tag on the car. It started at 29th Avenue on the interstate, and they exited off 49th Avenue. And this takes you right up here toward, this carries you up toward McDonald's to 8th Street, this road here. As they came up on the railroad tracks right here, three of them bailed out of the car and ran this way. The car ran up the road, turned around, and came back and crossed Highway 19 before becoming stopped here. The driver will face numerous charges of traffic violations and felony fleeing. It will be a pretty stiff fine with this. They have no clue as to who the other three were. They were never found. They went back and searched for them, but MPD says they were not located. The last I searched with them, I spoke with them last night. So a good job on stopping somebody that was trying to evade the law. They did get them stopped and were taken on to jail for doing some bad stuff there. So that's what happened. Also, excuse me, a fight reported last night, a bunch of them on 1913. I'll just show you where this is located as we look at maps to give you a general idea where things happen in Meridian. Here's the hospitals up here. This is 24th Avenue that runs all the way out to North Hills area. This is going to be just to the west of there. Carroll Lodge up through here was back in this area here where the fight broke out. I believe someone had to be taken to the hospital from that fight. Arguing. So our police department do encounter all types at all hours of the night. Those guys and gals face a lot that we have no idea that they do every night. So our thoughts are with them. It always seems as though the criminal has the upper hand, doesn't it? So that's sort of what went on last night. Nothing major. We hope today is a calm day throughout our community. We certainly do. But as we begin this, I say good morning to each one of you. Thank y'all for watching. We do appreciate that. LaWanda said, if you have not watched the podcast that I did with Chief Reed, I've got it posted on the page here, or you can visit. Let me show you how you can do this. There's a lot of people that have never seen it. If you've gone to my Facebook page, we do so much more here, and we're adding each day. This is the Facebook page. If you'll go here, you can click here at scottyray.net, and then it carries you to the Southern American Media Network webpage to where you can watch it from there. But I've also got it listed down here. Let me show you what it looks like. If you hadn't listened to the podcast, Chief Reed tells you about what to do when you get out of a car. Let me stop scrolling that where it makes everybody blind. But think about where you park when you get out of a car. What do? Chief Reed goes into that. It's also on YouTube. A lot of interesting things, but I've posted so many things I can't locate it very quickly. But you can find it that way, or just scroll down my page and you'll be able to turn that up. So that's right around the corner. I hope you'll watch that. It was a good episode there on Secrets from the South, the podcast. Let's see. Good morning. Let me say a few good mornings out here, LaWanda. Good morning to you, Terry Ray. Chilly, she says. Miss Gail Gafford is up. Kathy Thomas. How are you? Charlotte Gray joins us. Donna Hawkins, also. Betsy Holly is up today. Denise Fulton, glad you're up. Donna White, how are you today? Lillian Glenn, always good to see your smiling face. You got a great profile picture. Makes me smile every time I see you. Also, good morning to Jeannie McKay. Glad to have you there. Let's see here. Gail says, thanks for keeping us informed about the community. Anytime. Y'all kind of quiet there in Porterville. Hadn't a lot been going on since the wood yard closed down. Y'all remember the days? Busy town there at one time in Porterville, Mississippi. Pat Banks, good morning to you. Roy Ellis is up as well. Also, Lindsay Norman, good morning to you as well. I hope each and every one of y'all are doing great and have a wonderful day. All right, let's talk a little bit about weather today and where we're headed. Let's flip over here to radar. I was still scanning here. Well, I've got a bunch of stuff here that I didn't even realize. Here we go. This is what this looks like. If you're looking for the podcast and want a link that will take you directly to Facebook, just look for this picture right here. This was put there on November the 11th, 2 days ago. You can click that. It'll play the podcast for you. There's lots to see on here. So that's where you can go to see it there. Took me long enough, didn't it? All right, let's look at radar, what we've got going on this morning before we go into the deep details of what the forecast will bring. Here we go. As we look at this, all of this, and I'll call this turquoise. That's pretty close to that, isn't it? That is a freeze warning that's going to be until 8 a.m. Tomorrow morning. Parts of it is 8, some of it is 9 as we look at this, as it takes place here. And it's going to start as we zoom in on this. Here's Lauderdale County. This is going to be Wayne County, Clark County. Y'all are all in this. Jasper, Smith. Look at this. All the way to Jackson, due north through Mississippi State, skirting most of the Delta here on the west side, Greenville, though, but back east to Stark Vegas, Columbus, all the way to the state line in Tennessee. And look at this. We go east here into Huntsville, Alabama, Birmingham, Tuscaloosa, even up here into parts of Tennessee is going to be included in this. Right here, Fayetteville, Winchester, as we go over to Chattanooga, also included in all of this. As it goes up through to Knoxville, Tennessee, y'all are involved in this. And Atlanta, Georgia as well. It's going to be a cold one. Now, this purple, if you'll click on that and see, this is just an advisory for frost. So we got a freeze and a lot of frost that's going to be happening. And I've also gotten reports this morning of a lot of people waking up with frost throughout the neighborhood. So warm your car up. Now, I'll warn you on this. In certain areas, it's not safe to crank your car up and leave it running with the key on. A lot of cars will crank up now with the doors locked. There are some cities, and I scratch my head and wonder and go, how could you get a ticket for warming your car up? But I guess there are those woke cities that do that. On the rural route, you can crank your car up and leave it running as long as you want. That's where we all live for the majority of that. I'm sure there's some folks watching in other areas of the United States that go, yeah, I know what you're talking about. First time I read that, I really thought, as Buford T. Justice said, what is the world coming to? That's my thoughts on that this morning. All right, let's dig deeper into the forecast and let you know what's going to happen with temperatures and different things as we go for the next 7 days, what's going to happen tonight, and how you need to dress over the next few days. Let's get into that now.
Your forecast is brought to you by EMEPA, your Touchstone Energy Cooperative.
As we pull up today's forecast, sunshine is what we'll get. But if you'll look at this, It's not going to be warm at all. Meridian will get 54 as we go south to Laurel, Hattiesburg. 56 to 57, that hour and a half drive from here. It'll be a little bit warmer as we go west over to Brookhaven and back over to Natchez, 55. Over in Vicksburg, our western side of the state where the big bridge is, 56 today as we go to the Mississippi Delta, 53. Up to Columbus, 53 as well, and that drops down to the Louisville, Noxapater, and Philadelphia area, Marty Stewart land. 53 today in those areas. Not a bad day. It's just going to be extremely gusty and chilly, especially since we hadn't had many days like this. It kind of catches you off guard and gives you that burr to the bone. Y'all know what I mean. As we look at this, sunshine today as we go into Alabama. Demopolis will be one of the high points there, 55. The further southeast you go, over to Euclid, Troy, Alabama, down to Dothan area, 59, 62 area. The further north you go, the cooler it gets. Hamilton, Alabama, Gadsden, 52. We're looking for about 54 there in Livingston, Alabama, up through Gainesville and over to Geiger, Alabama, and those areas. But sunny, but still as well, it'll be chilly for you folks in Alabama as well, all around that Tuscaloosa area there. As we look for tonight, what's going to happen with the frost? We are in an elevated area here through Meridian, Laurel, back over to Jackson, even to Vicksburg, up through Yazoo. Look at this, Columbus, Mississippi State, Philadelphia. Hey, y'all are in this elevated there. We're expecting that temperature to be somewhere between 31 to 33. We're forecasted at 32, and we're going to have a lot of frost with that. So be ready for that. And a freeze warning, again, is in effect for tonight. Now, what does this, as we talk about this, let's get into your plants. If you've got something that you've had on your front porch, it's been sunshiny, bring it in. The number two thing that concerns me more than anything, and I'm an advocate for pets because I love my dog like it's one of the family. Make sure to, if you have an outside dog and you are against bringing it in, you give hay something to keep them warm. If not, let them in your utility room. It won't hurt a thing. Throw a towel down on the floor, close the door, and they'll be warm and won't be shaking all night. Imagine yourself outside. I'm serious about that. It's the same thing. They have feelings just like you. They understand when you talk to them, and they are man's best friend. Whether that's a kitty cat, a dog, whatever the case may be. Make sure they're warm. They want to be just like you, cozy and, well, a good life. Take care of them if you can. Remember that. It's near and dear to my heart. Today, let's go over to Alabama. Let's look at this. Frost is expected there in the morning. And, of course, Alabama uses a different color to show what they've got. But they're expecting it cold weather as we look at that from Demopolis, Alabama, all the way up to Hamilton, Gadsden, all the way over to Auburn, down to Troy. They've got this out there. Frost is coming. Freeze warning in effect. So be ready, Alabama. All right, as we look at this, as we go to the National Hurricane Center, absolutely zero. And before long, we'll be able to drop this out of the forecast each day because it won't be as relevant as the hurricane season will end. But we're still holding on to this a little bit longer and checking it daily to make sure that nothing comes up. But over the next 5 days, 0% chance of anything coming in the Atlantic and to the Gulf, and we're happy over that. As we move forward, let's look at the temperatures for the next 6 to 10 days. What's expected? Mississippi will be a little bit above average is what we've got here. South Florida as well. Normal across most of Georgia there through Atlanta, and as we go up in the northern parts of the states, the Dakotas, they're normal as well. Yeah, it's always cold up there, isn't it? Don't want to visit this time of year. They have just a different way of life you got to get used to there. Warm out in Nevada and parts of California there as we look at them. Now let's do the breakdown of what we've got here locally over the next 7 days. Here's our forecast and what to expect. Today, sunshine and gusty, as I've said many times, with a 20-mile-an-hour gust. That's cool. That 54 being our high tonight, the low at 32, the freezing mark. I think this is the first time that I can remember this season so far that it will get to the 32. I could be wrong, but I think that's right. As we go into tonight, widespread frost, and mainly that will start happening right at daybreak around 5 a.m. in the morning is when that frost will come about. It'll be clear and cold with a low of 32. Now tomorrow, sunshine and 65 as we head to church, 37 for the low as we go to bed on Sunday night and wake up to face that Monday work day, 37. So it'll be cold then also. We'll get back up to 65 on a work day on Monday, and we'll have frost as well. So keep that in mind that you'll want to go out, crank up your car as well on Monday morning and get that off the windshield or cover it up, however you do that. 42 for the low on Monday night. As we go across here, we've got a slight chance of rain rain moving in toward the end of the week. You'll start seeing the temperatures rise for that rain. 71 there, Wednesday 73, and then the rain reaches us by Thursday there with a high of 67. And we'll see, look at that, we'll get into the 50s. We're going from 30 tonight to Wednesday and Thursday night to 46. So that's what happens when that rain comes about. Let's go ahead, jump into further into Thanksgiving there, past it. Through the 27th is what we've got here. Temperatures will be averaging in the mid-60s, not really getting above 64. Nighttime lows will average about 44. As you'll look at this, no big drastic changes. The day after Thanksgiving, we'll get back down into the 30s. That's progressed. That's projected. Now, again, I remind you, all of this is days out, and we know how temperatures can change within a 24-hour period, and it not be right 2 hours from now, because it is Mississippi, Alabama. We are the deep south, and, well, the weather changes drastically. But that's what we're looking at so far, forecasted. Let's look at your deer hunting calendar. What is good for today? Let's pull it up so you can see. Deer feeding times today. Major time will be a midday hunt today from about 8:45 till 11 a.m. So if you want to get up, you're having coffee now, and you think, well, I'm too late. Well, go ahead and try it. You've got time to get out there. Now, the winds today are going to be north-northwest, 5 to 10 miles an hour, with that wind gusting to 20. So the wind's not in your favor today at all. It's not calm. It makes everything in the woods a little bit spookier. They can't hear as well, and they think that you might be there, so they pay a little bit more attention, don't they? Well, that's a quick look at what we've got so far. And I want to remind you about this. If you've got a community event coming up, as we mentioned, Why Not Day is coming up December the 4th. It'll be from 8 to 4 there at the Why Not Community Club. Hope you can make it out for that. As we come down, the Bell cookbooks are on sale. That's going to happen December the 8th from 8:30 until 4:30. It's going to be in Meridian there, the Bell South building there. So hopefully you can take advantage of that. Now, as we go down, the Christmas parade for Meridian is right around the corner. December the 4th is when that's going to happen there. It'll start at 5. That lineup is at 3. So entry deadline is November 29th. You don't have long to get that in. And nothing different on the Christmas parade route. But if you've got a Christmas parade, we'd love to hear about it, as we also look out at Collinsville. They'll have theirs. That's coming up on December the 11th. And before long, we'll all be able to talk about Santa Claus is coming to town. As I was getting ready to come to my studio this morning, my wife, Angie, reminded me that today is a special day. It was 2 years ago upon this date that the good Lord let me live another day. I had open heart surgery 2 years ago today. I went into surgery not knowing if I'd make it to the other side. He stuck with me, and I was able to do it. I survived quadruple bypass surgery, and I'm telling you, it's a great day to be alive. I can't stress that enough. Let me say thank y'all to each and every one of y'all for joining me. Couldn't do it without you. Y'all make it happen each and every day, and I'll be back as we follow stories that happen that affect you here in the community. Thanks for being a part of it. Thank you to every sponsor that comes a part of this. If you'd like to know more about being a sponsor, shoot me an inbox. We'll be glad to tell you how to do that. Thank y'all. We appreciate it. We'll be back with more coverage as we do here at the Sam Network here at Scotty Ray's Weather. Thank you so much.
Scotty Ray's Weather is brought to you by